You guys are attacking wokeness. Is wokeness in comedy on its last legs?
Well, I think it has to be. It has to be close to collapse, as my good friend James Lindsay said. It's about 12, 18 months.
Rob Schneider, the comedic actor known for his roles in films like and just did something unexpected. He stepped out of the usual Hollywood echo chamber and made a bold statement that humiliated woke culture. Yus Begalo, the hot chick. Rob Schneider's critique of woke culture. No more political correctness. In a recent interview promoting his latest stand-up comedy tour, Rob Schneider didn't hold back when asked about the current state of Hollywood and the entertainment industry's increasing obsession with political correctness and woke culture. Known for his irreverent and boundary-pushing humor, Schneider was brutally honest about how the woke agenda has stifled comedy, free speech, and creativity. "We used to be able to laugh at things," Schneider said, getting straight to the heart of what's been lost in today's overly sensitive climate. Comedy was about pushing boundaries, making people uncomfortable, and sometimes even offending people. That's how you get people to think. Now everyone is so sensitive. You can't make a joke without someone getting offended, and that's killing comedy. Schneider made it clear that Hollywood's obsession with ticking off woke boxes has shifted the focus from creating entertainment that connects with people. Instead, the industry has become more concerned with virtue signaling, leading to hollow storytelling and forced narratives. Hollywood used to be about telling stories that resonated with people. Now it's all about virtue signaling. Every movie, every TV show has to have the right message, the right cast, and if it doesn't fit the woke agenda, it doesn't get made. Schneider's frustration resonated deeply with fans who have grown tired of the relentless political correctness dominating the entertainment industry. Unlike many other Hollywood figures who remain silent or toe the line, Schneider dared to call out the problem head-on, and that didn't sit well with everyone. Hollywood's response: the woke elites lose their minds. The moment Schneider's comments went public, Hollywood's woke elite wasted no time in expressing their outrage. Progressive actors, directors, and social media influencers quickly jumped on the bandwagon, condemning Schneider for daring to challenge the status quo. Actress and activist Deborah Messing, a well-known champion of woke causes, tweeted, "Rob Schneider's comments are not only outdated, they're dangerous. Comedy should evolve with the times, and what he's talking about is just an excuse to perpetuate harmful stereotypes." Messing's comment was followed by a chorus of criticism from Hollywood's most vocal progressives. Actor Mark Ruffalo, a frequent advocate for progressive politics, chimed in, tweeting, "There's nothing funny about punching down. Rob Schneider needs to understand that comedy doesn't need to offend to be good." The backlash was swift, but it highlighted the very point Schneider was making. Hollywood has become intolerant of dissenting views. It's no longer acceptable to question the woke agenda without being labeled as regressive, harmful, or worse. Schneider wasn't advocating for offensive or harmful comedy. He was simply arguing that the current climate of political correctness is strangling creativity and making it nearly impossible for comedians to do what they do best: make people think by making them laugh. Schneider's defense of free speech, comedy as a tool for change. During the interview, one of Schneider's most powerful points was his defense of free speech, particularly as it relates to comedy. He argued that comedy has always been a powerful tool for social change, precisely because it allows people to discuss uncomfortable topics in a way that feels less confrontational. Comedy is supposed to challenge people, Schneider explained. It's supposed to make you laugh, but also make you think. If we can't talk about certain things because we're afraid of offending someone, then how are we supposed to have meaningful conversations about those issues? Schneider's defense of comedy as a vehicle for free speech struck a nerve. Historically, comedians like Richard Pryor, George Carlin, and Lenny Bruce were revered for using humor to tackle issues like race, inequality, and politics. Issues that, without humor, could feel too heavy for many people to confront. But in today's woke culture, Schneider pointed out, comedians are being forced to self-censor out of fear of being canceled. This critique resonated with fans who have noticed the increasing homogenization of comedy in recent years. Late-night shows, stand-up specials, and even sitcoms that once pushed boundaries now feel sanitized, with comedians avoiding any topic that could potentially spark outrage. Schneider's call for comedy that isn't afraid to offend, challenge, and provoke was a rallying cry for those who missed the days when comedians had the freedom to take risks. Cancel culture, the death of comedy. It didn't take long for Schneider's critique of woke culture to shift to the topic of cancel culture, a phenomenon that has taken Hollywood by storm. When asked about the prevalence of cancel culture in today's entertainment industry, Schneider didn't mince words. "Cancel culture is the death of comedy," Schneider said bluntly. "We've gotten to a point where if you say one wrong thing, even if it was 10 or 20 years ago, your career is over. How are we supposed to create art, tell jokes, or even just have conversations if we're all terrified of getting canceled?" Schneider's frustration with cancel culture is rooted in its lack of nuance and forgiveness. He pointed to numerous examples of comedians and actors who have been canceled for comments made years ago, with no consideration for context or intent. According to Schneider, this culture of immediate judgment and career-ending punishment is not only killing comedy, it's killing the opportunity for people to learn, grow, and evolve. What happened to forgiveness? What happened to growth? Schneider asked. People change. Jokes that were acceptable 20 years ago might not be acceptable now, but does that mean we should cancel everyone who made those jokes? That's not the kind of world I want to live in. Hollywood's hypocrisy. Schneider calls it out. One of the most biting points in Schneider's critique of woke culture was his takedown of Hollywood's hypocrisy. Schneider pointed out that many of the loudest advocates for woke causes are the same people who live lives of extreme privilege and excess, insulated from the very issues they claim to care about. "Hollywood loves to preach about equality and justice," Schneider said, "but these are the same people who fly around in private jets, live in mansions, and are completely out of touch with the real world." Schneider's remarks tapped into a growing frustration with Hollywood's disconnect from the everyday struggles of regular people. While celebrities often use their platforms to lecture the public about social justice, they do so from an ivory tower of wealth and privilege, making their words feel hollow and hypocritical. "It's easy to talk about fairness and equality when you're worth millions of dollars," Schneider said. "But how many of these people are actually doing anything to make a difference? It's all talk." This critique resonated with many people who feel that Hollywood's woke crusaders are more interested in signaling their virtue than in actually addressing the systemic issues they claim to care about. For Schneider, the issue isn't with the causes themselves. It's with the hypocrisy of those who claim to be fighting for change while remaining comfortably detached from the real-world consequences. Schneider's stand for free speech, why it matters. What makes Rob Schneider's critique of woke culture so significant is that it's rooted in a defense of free speech, an ideal that is rapidly being eroded in today's entertainment industry. Schneider isn't calling for a return to offensive or harmful humor. He's calling for a space where comedians can be free to explore controversial topics, challenge the status quo, and make people think without fear of being canceled. Schneider's stand for free speech matters because it speaks to a larger cultural issue. As woke culture has tightened its grip on Hollywood, the entertainment industry has become increasingly intolerant of any opinion that doesn't conform to its ideological demands. This has led to a chilling effect on creativity, with comedians, writers, and actors all being forced to self-censor to avoid backlash. By speaking out, Schneider is reminding us that comedy, and art in general, should be a place where ideas can be explored freely, even if those ideas make people uncomfortable. Without the ability to push boundaries, we risk losing the very essence of what makes comedy powerful. The fans respond. Support for Schneider's stand. Despite the predictable backlash from Hollywood's woke elite, Rob Schneider's comments have earned him widespread support from fans. Many took to social media to express their admiration for Schneider's willingness to stand up for free speech and call out the absurdities of woke culture. Finally, someone in Hollywood has the guts to say what we've all been thinking. One fan tweeted, "Rob Schneider is right. Comedy is dying because of all this political correctness." Another fan wrote, "Comedy is supposed to push boundaries. If we're afraid to make jokes because we might offend someone, then what's the point?" This groundswell of support for Schneider highlights a growing divide between Hollywood's woke elites and the general public. While many in Hollywood continue to push for more political correctness, there is a significant portion of the population that is tired of seeing entertainment filtered through a woke lens. Schneider's defense of free speech, creativity, and comedy's role in society resonated with those who feel that Hollywood has lost its way. Rob Schneider's takedown of woke Hollywood. Rob Schneider's recent critique of woke culture has sent shockwaves through Hollywood. His unapologetic defense of free speech, his critique of cancel culture, and his call for a return to authentic, boundary-pushing comedy have resonated with millions of people who are tired of the political correctness that dominates the entertainment industry. While Hollywood's woke elite may be furious, Schneider's willingness to stand up for what he believes in has earned him praise from fans and critics alike. If you agree with Rob Schneider's message, hit that like button, subscribe, and leave a comment below. What do you think about Schneider's takedown of woke culture? Let's keep the conversation going.